All right, welcome to the Chasing Winners College Football Edition. No NFL pod this week because it was just hard to work through everybody's schedules. We're all running all over the place, but as is tradition, we're doing the college football pod at halftime of Thursday night football, and also we got West Virginia versus Virginia Tech going on too. That's in the third quarter here. So, JP, cr crazy week last week, as always in college football. What are your thoughts on last week? How'd we do?
So last week, I finally made back a game. Uh, you won a game on Friday, and then I beat you by two on Saturday. It was kind of a crazy day. We had six games that we were opposite, and they kept like you won with Cal, I won with I think Oregon was the next one, and then you won Liberty, and then I won and no Mississippi State LSU because that was when I started driving back, and then Washington went for me and A&M went for me, uh, and so I took the late slate, so that meant I won by one game overall that week. Um, when you say crazy week, I looked at the picks we did for the podcast last week. I won five, so I went 5-1. You went 3-3. Um, so that puts our podcast records. I'm at 12-5. You're at 9-8. Overall on the game, I am 25-25 because I went 10-6 last week.
Jeff
You were
Fisher.
9-7 last week. You're at 31-19, so you still got me by 6 games. But the podcast picks last week, every favorite won and covered. And
Interesting.
I had five favorites, and you had three favorites and three underdogs. So I don't know what that means for this week. It's not good that I like all the favorites again.
Yeah, A&M Miami was what it was. I
How
was
was your
there.
trip?
I was there in College Station. Great trip. Really, really shockingly nice people at A&M after being their midnight yell and everything. I thought I was going into straight hostile territory, but super nice people, wild atmosphere, terrible game because we just completely outplayed them and should have won, but gave up 13 points on special teams with the missed kick, the blocked kick, and the muffed punt.
Fumbled punt,
So
yeah.
yeah, so that changed the whole game for us. Still have a positive outlook on our season in the ACC, but that was definitely a downer. You were in Waco last weekend. How'd that go?
Well, I mean, we covered -30, so that's always good. Um, I didn't love it because we didn't really open up the offense as much as I thought we would have against Texas State. I thought we'd throw the ball a lot more and take deep shots, and we really only took one, and then Shapen just overthrew the receiver on it. So I I can't say I'm a big fan of our offense right now. Um, although this new running back Reese kid, I don't know who he is, but he ran for like 150 yards. So if he does that this week, then maybe we're in business. But I don't know. I wish we would have done a little more in the passing department.
Yeah, so let's get into this week here. The first game we're going over is Clemson versus Wake Forest. Clemson are 7-point favorites on the road. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I don't think Wake Forest is very good. I don't think anyone beats Liberty by 1 point at home, and you can say they're very good. Would you agree with me in that statement?
Yeah, I would agree with you with that statement. And there is a key matchup in play here that came into effect big time last year in this matchup, and it's the battle in the trenches. I mean, Wake Forest's offensive line is terrible. Saw it last week. Liberty got a bunch of pressures on them, and how's that going to work out against one of the best defensive lines in the country?
Mm-hmm.
It's I think Clemson -7 is a no brainer here. I could be square as I'm called sometimes on the NFL pod for saying that, but I love Clemson -7 here.
Yeah, I mean it's that's the side I'm on as well. I'm also on Clemson -7. That's one of two games we're on the same side this week, but I I, I can't. Wake Forest should be better this week than they were last week, and they scored a lot, but I can't see how they can be good enough to keep within 7 against Clemson.
And the funny thing is, I don't think Clemson's that good either. I just think this is I think they're good. I don't think they're top 5 or any top 4. I don't think they're playoff contenders, but that just it's just a really good matchup for them.
Yeah, it's two ACC teams that I don't know if you think any team in the ACC is good besides Miami.
I do. I think NC State is very good.
Mm-hmm.
I think Clemson is good. I don't
But
think
not very good.
I don't think they should be ranked number 5 right now. I don't think they've proved
Is
it.
that what they are?
Yes. I don't think they've proven enough at all to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're a bit overrated. They're obviously super talented. They're good. Their defensive line, their front seven's stacked as always, but
Yeah.
not number 5. All right, moving on here. I'm going to leave this one to you after the intro. Baylor, you talked about him a little in our intro there, coming off a bounce back win against Texas State. Iowa State 3-0, 43-10. I'm on Baylor plus 2.5. Baylor guy, tell me why I made the right decision.
I don't know that you did.
Damn.
I mean, it's very hard for me to look at this game after I looked at the BYU Baylor spread. I looked at the Michigan State Washington spread. It was very similar to this. Iowa State's not ranked, but I think they received votes. But Washington wasn't ranked last week, and they didn't receive any votes, and they were 3-point favorites, or 2.5, 3.5.
And guess what? Now they're ranked.
Now they are. Iowa State might be if they beat us this week. I saw Chris Falca put something out that said when Iowa State is between a 4-point underdog and a 4-point favorite, something like that, they're just awful against the spread. So I'm hoping that's what it's going to be this week. I'm very, very worried about our offense. I think we get Baldwin back this week. I think Monterey's going to play, which could help us. I think that has to be the only way we take a deep shot, because we just haven't without him. So if we start like that, we start well in the first drive, scripting plays, we score on the first possession, and we take shots down the field, then I'll think a little differently. I'm actually on Iowa State or -2.5 in this game, and it's not good because I'm very good on pod picks. So it's almost a hedge against myself, but it's also part of me thinks I'm just speaking into existence that they're going to now cover in this game because I'm good at this. This is what I'm actually good at. I'm good at picking the big games. So yeah, I don't know. That scares me. I am going to watch the game. I don't know. I think I golf at 2:45, and it starts at 11. So I might not even watch the end. Really
You'll watch the end. You'll figure out a way. You'll watch it on your phone if it's a close game.
Yeah, I will. Oh, I don't want it to be a close game. That would really not be good.
All right, so shocking, the Baylor guy picking against Baylor here, but now we move on to our real game of the week.
Mm-hmm.
It's where game day should be. A sold-out David Booth Memorial Stadium in Lawrence, Kansas. 46,000 people. Who would have thought the battle of two undefeated teams, Duke and Kansas? You would think we were talking about basketball. Hell no. we're talking about college football. What is happening?
It's beautiful. I want, let's see. If we could have Georgia basketball play like Clemson basketball and both be undefeated in February, do like a SEC ACC challenge, and they're both undefeated. That's the equivalent of this, and it's awesome to see. It's a great game for college football. I did see someone say they should have flexed it and moved it to like November or December and had the basketball teams play the same day.
Well, no, but if you flex it, these teams are going to eventually lose. So I think it's a bigger deal to have this now when they're both undefeated. Both fan bases are kind of riled up for the first time in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to be beautiful on Saturday.
What we should do is we should just have the basketball teams scrimmage each other the day before, get everyone excited for it. If game day was there and they could figure out a way to make those teams scrimmage and then play the football game on Saturday, that would have been the best scenario.
Yeah, have game day. I guess they could. Well, Allen Fieldhouse just isn't big enough to host college football game day, but
but they could have the team scrimmaging during game day, and they could just like cut to it. Or they could have it playing like in the corner of the game day screen,
like a closed door scrimmage or something.
Yeah,
just they view in every few minutes.
Yep. That would have been smart.
So I mean, there's some absurd stats here. Is it like offensive efficiency that they're ranked number 1 and number 6?
I think that was what I sent you.
It's not. So now that we've gotten through how insane this is, how do you think the actual game goes?
Well, much like the game that's currently going on, we have a classic Big 12 ACC matchup here. I'm going to be taking the Big 12 team, much as I did tonight, and it seems to be working out for me right now as of this moment. I think West Virginia just kicked in their field goal, so they're up 9 now. That's pretty big for a 2-point spread. In this game, I have to go with Kansas. I can't say that I've watched any Duke football this year. I know that you had a best bet against them. Northwestern.
Yeah, and they beat them.
And they won outright.
They won outright on the road in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I mean, Kansas went outright on the road against this West Virginia team. Like, What is happening?
Yeah, and Kansas, they just beat Houston too, didn't they?
They did.
And Kansas is now, I mean, this is a letdown spot for Kansas, I think, but they should be getting up. They should be getting up for this game still because they're Kansas and they've already hit their win total for the year, and they should be trying to show the country that they're not Kansas anymore. So the only downside to Kansas being good at football now is that Texas fans have an excuse for the loss last year. They can say, well, we were ahead of the curve. We lost to Kansas early before it was cool.
They were good last year.
No, they weren't. They were getting good.
Okay. I'm going the ACC side here. I'm taking Duke +7. I just, for the simple reason that I just cannot pick Kansas as a 7-point favorite against anybody. It's gonna bite me in the butt completely because Kansas probably should cover, but I can't do it. I just can't. Give me them on a dog line. Give me them -3. I'll take it easily. But
you're gonna take Duke -3. What odds can you get at that?
No. I'm saying give me Kansas -3.
Oh,
I'll take it. But I just can't take them on a touchdown line. It just doesn't. I can't compute. So I'm taking Duke +7 here.
Wonder if I can watch Duke Kansas instead of Baylor Iowa State. Can I justify that?
You may need a double screen because it's the best game of the day.
That's the problem. I'm not going to be at my apartment. I got to convince my buddy to throw Duke Kansas on the screen.
Oh my. Now, now for the actual location that College Game Day is going to, what a lot that absolutely disgraceful. We got Florida traveling to Tennessee. Florida's coming off of just barely scraping a win against USF. That's definitely something. Tennessee dominated Akron, beat Pitt the week before. So um, Tennessee's minus 10.5 point favorites at home. What are you thinking?
I'm starting to operate under the assumption that there aren't any good teams outside of Georgia. I just don't think there's any good teams in this league. So I do want to say I tweeted this last week. I was just a couple of weeks early on USF. I took him against BYU week 1 as my best bet. That was not the move. Last week they looked really good, and save for a snap over Gary's head, or not over his head. I was watching the end of that game. They like snapped it low on him, low into his left in shotgun, and it just went right by him. They lost 15 yards, knocked him out of field goal range. Lost by 3 points. They were driving with 30 seconds to go. So they had a real chance to win that game in the swamp. So I think USF they're not good, but they could be good, and I would like to say I predicted that a little bit. I don't think Florida's any good. I don't think Tennessee's any good. So 10.5 points, this feels like a letdown spot for Tennessee in my eyes. So because they've been good.
They're coming off a week where they just killed Akron.
Yeah.
Like it's not like
Praising
they beat
them.
some good
They
teams.
have game day. They're on top of the world. They're on the rocky top of the world. They are, and they beat Pitt. They as 5-6 point underdogs, beat Pitt, and then kicked the shit out of Akron. They're gonna come into this game. They're gonna be flat. I still think they win the game because I don't think Florida's any good, but 10.5 is too much. I'm taking Florida 10.5.
So just an observation with this game, specifically with the Gators. What the hell is going on with Anthony Richardson? This guy was so hyped coming into the season. 0 passing touchdowns, 423 total yards through 3 games, a 30 QBR.
Really?
Yeah.
But how did they beat Utah?
It makes no sense. Rushing. He's in defense specifically too, but he has been atrocious. So they're 32nd in the country in rushing yards. They're averaging 212 a game. That's how they're winning.
Yeah. You know what? Bounce back week for the passing offense, because second string at Pitt and the third string at Pitt could still throw all over Tennessee. That's it.
Could happen,
I
but
found my angle.
but I'm on Tennessee minus 10.5 here. I think they are pretty good. I think Florida sucks. But I've got to go Tennessee. I'm going Tennessee minus 10.5. I can't trust Anthony Richardson right now specifically.
Yeah, that's fair. I think, I don't know. I don't think Florida's good, but I don't think they're gonna suck that bad 3 weeks in a row. I could be very wrong.
We'll see what happens Saturday. So the next game we're going over, we actually subbed this in for a different game we were going to talk about. We were going to talk about Ohio State, Wisconsin, but then we saw this line, and just like we did last week with Washington and Michigan State, we're like, what's going on here? Texas and Texas Tech. Texas are a 7-point favorite on the road. Only a 7-point favorite in this spot. What are we thinking?
I really enjoy the amount of Big 12 and ACC games that we throw in here, um, because they are the best games outside of the two SEC games. We got two Big 12 games, Big 12 versus ACC, and then ACC, which Pac-12 just doesn't exist. Neither is the Big 10.
The Pac-12 does exist. We'll get to them later on in the season a bit
yeah, we'll see.
when USC meets Utah, but before then, I don't think we're getting there much.
Yeah, I originally this spread was 5, and that was the line where I said I have to bet Texas Tech, and that scares the crap out of me because Texas Tech is not going to keep this within 5 points. It's up to 7 now, and I've decided that because I don't think I've bet against Texas both the last 2 weeks. Both of the last 2 weeks, they've made me very unhappy. And so I've decided that now we're just going to hedge my emotions again. So I'm on Texas -7. Texas is far better than Texas Tech. You can look at the recruiting rankings. They are out of Texas Tech's league. And if little old Baylor upstart Joey McGuire keeps it within 7 and covers, well then Texas should be ashamed of themselves. And that would be a shame if I got to make fun of Texas.
Yeah, it's a questionable line. Like you said, you would have had to bet Texas Tech earlier this week. I'm still feeling that way. I've went the other way on these lines, especially last week with Washington and Michigan State. It's been biting me in the ass using logic. So I'm gonna go almost against my own judgment here
There you go.
for Texas Tech +7.
Yeah, I mean, I like Donovan Smith a lot. Their quarterback is good. They score points. I don't know that their defense is going to be able to stop Texas. I just don't think. Do you know Xavier Worthy does not have a touchdown this year?
What?
He has 11 catches for 160 yards and no touchdowns through 3 games.
That's wild.
Yeah, and they were all on him in that Alabama game. They could not stop talking about him. No touchdowns. It's like a slump for him. He might break out of that this week.
Is this his game? Is this
Yes.
the game where he literally doubles his receiving total on the season?
It might be.
That would be something. I'm sticking with my going against logic though, and picking Texas Tech here, and
You should. I wish you all the best.
we'll see what happens. And finally, we get to an SEC game. Well, we had one already, but the SEC, quote unquote, I think it's the game of the week over Tennessee and Florida, but I know some people would argue with me about that because Tennessee Florida is a traditional rivalry, but Arkansas, Texas A&M, neutral site game at AT&T Stadium. Funny because Jerry Jones is an Arkansas fan, yet Texas A&M feels like the home team in the spot. What are your thoughts here?
Well, I have a very simple pick, so why don't you go first on this one?
Very simple, interesting. I'm going Texas A&M -2.
You thought they looked really good last week?
I thought they looked excellent last week. No, but I think they are due to get right. They are getting it's crazy to say they're getting better and better every week because we went from terrible to mediocre.
Yeah.
But they have so much talent. I feel like they out-talent this Arkansas team everywhere. They're going to get their 4 guys back that were suspended last week. I think the line's also kind of crazy here, but Yeah, I'm going A&M -2. Arkansas didn't really look too impressive last week against Missouri State. South Carolina was more of a blowout than the score told, but yeah, I'm going A&M -2 here. I'm riding them out now. Why? Because it makes Miami look great if they keep winning. Because we should have won that game.
Yeah, I mean, you saying that just reminded me, Kyle. You lost that game when they didn't have their 4-star freshman playing.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
um, you you hit on the simplicity of the pick. I will never again take the side anytime the game is in this fashion. Higher ranked team, technically on the road, is 2 to 4 point underdogs to a team ranked less than them. I will always take the favorite in that game. So it's A&M -2. It's, I'm gonna throw up, but it's Iowa State -2.5. And I gotta check the Minnesota Michigan State game. I have no idea what I'm there.
You still have time.
Yeah, I know. Well, I started working, so I have a lot less time now.
Hey, welcome to the club.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm on A&M -2 in this game. Arkansas had a scare last week, dude. They did not look good in that first half. I was watching the first quarter-ish, first past the quarter, and then they I Katrina revenge game almost happened.
That would be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seemed like a pretty simple pick for you just based on a system that's been working. So happy to be riding that with you.
It'll fail eventually. Now that you're on my side and I'm better at podcast picks. Well, then maybe it'll work. We're both on it. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. West Virginia just converted a 4th and 1. Oh, flag. But
What channel is that on?
ESPN.
I gotta switch it over.
But also just to close out here, best bets of the week. So wait, before we do that, you had a stat you wanted to share that.
Oh, it was my all the favorites one in the podcast last week.
Got it. Got it. So
And I forgot to go through the best bets last week. I'm surprised you didn't remind me. We had our first winner on a best bet last week. It was Kyle. Kyle went 1-0. Ryan and I both lost. So on the year now, Kyle's 1-2 on his best bets. I am 0-2-1. Ryan's 0-3.
all right. So what do you have this week?
Well, I will say, if you just fade all of our picks on the year, 0-3, 7-1. You go 7-1-1. If you faded all of our picks, you are 7-1-1 on best bets. So that's pretty big time. It's going to be hard to do that this week. But as for me, I refuse to believe that Notre Dame will lie over and die the same way they are every other week I bet on them. So I'm going to take Notre Dame +2 against UNC because it's two technically ACC teams that aren't good, and Notre Dame has to win something. They do. They can't be this bad.
They most certainly can be
No,
this
they
bad.
can't.
And they're playing a team that's going to run up and down the field on them, and it's going to be glorious.
I don't think
But
they're that good either. They're not.
their offense is good. Their defense sucks. So maybe we'll see the Notre Dame offense actually do something this week.
Yeah, the Marshall defense is just too good. And the Cal defense. Dude, Notre Dame almost covered that game. I was watching the end of that game. I was so happy until they brought that play back.
I watched the end of that game too. It was
Were you
almost
watching at the tailgate then?
We were watching it at the pregame.
There you
Yeah.
go. Were you a little scared when they they had the fumble 6?
Oh yeah, I thought it was I thought they were gonna backdoor. But so Ryan's best bet is Oregon State plus 5.5 because they have a great cover rate at home. But
Well, it's because they have a great cover rate at home, and he's fading Kyle because Kyle is notoriously a loser on the NFL podcast. So I don't think Ryan watches the college football podcast because Kyle's 62% of the season in the college football podcast. Maybe he's just fading your best bet, which isn't the worst idea.
well, yeah.
He should be fading mine.
I'm just gonna ride it till it dies. They've covered every week so far. Their offense is absolutely insane. I don't want to say they're going to cover again, but I hope they cover again for me. USC minus 5.5. Fight on.
So I'm gonna say, I guess I have another stat because it's the one I sent you on Twitter this afternoon. More money has been wagered on Oregon State to cover the spread against USC. You said it was plus 6.5, but it's 5.5.
It's 5.5 now. The lines moved.
Than any other college or pro game so far this week. And I think I saw something else that it's like 3 times more than any other pro game on either side. And it's all of that money's on Oregon State. So I don't know if that's the sharps betting it or the hold on.
The books may be making a lot of money this week if USC can cover, and I want to be on their side.
I think I made a mistake. I think I already bet on Wake Forest. I'm not even kidding, because I was like, maybe I should take an early line on something, and then I was like, oh wait, I did. It was on Wake Forest when they were 8, and now it's 7. Because I read one article that said, take it before it goes down to 7. I was like, okay.
Oh, that's amazing. So best of luck there. Another opposite game that we're on. No takebacks unless you want to put double on the other side. And
Fuck. I'm gonna take Clemson minus 7 and try to middle it.
That'll just be a push and a win.
I want it on 7.5. Can we get a 7.5 play?
On that note, on that awful mistake, I'm gonna sign off here. Sounds like neither of us are traveling this week to a college football game, which is just kind of rare.
Yeah, I'll be in Fort Worth this weekend, going to Rangers game tomorrow, and then I'm playing golf with a buddy that weekend. But I should have gone if I wasn't gonna be in Fort Worth. I might have gone to the TCU and SMU were playing, and I realized I'm like 5 minutes from the SMU stadium, so I got tickets in like a month from today for the Cincinnati SMU game. So I hope that's a good game because I paid $40 for a ticket in like the third row.
Nice. I'm gonna be at a rare, godforsaken fall Saturday wedding this week, so I'm gonna try to catch as much college football as I can, but we'll see.
Who's Miami play?
Middle Tennessee. 26 point favorites last time I checked.
Yeah, I can see that. Is Miami going to score enough to cover that?
We did against Bethune-Cookman, but
week 1, not the week after.
Yeah, close the week after.
Was it close? I just remember you saying that they were going to lose to Southern Miss that week.
Yeah, they were down, but almost came back to cover. We're within like 6.
So I can cash out my Wake Forest bet for the full amount right now.
So do it. Put it on Clemson.
Why would they be letting me do that if the line's 7 now? And I bought half a point to get to 8. So why? Usually, if the line moves, they don't let me cash out ever.
Because they're stupid.
Or they want me to cash out.
Goodbye.
I want my podcast back.
Goodbye, everybody. Best of luck this week, and hope you enjoy the games.
Go Mountaineers tonight.
Go Hokies. Not looking good.